Yo, what's up guys, it's OGXRAYZ. Welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 3 video. Today we're going to be talking about the Ffar or the FAMAS. We're going to be talking about some of the drawbacks and a class setup that I want to give you guys that, in my opinion, is one of the best class setups for this weapon. The Ffar is actually a pretty tricky weapon to use, and by no means is it overpowered. It's definitely a weapon that you can do really well with if you know how to use the weapon and when you have the right attachments, but it's also one that you need to be very focused when you're using, because it can be severely underpowered compared to some other assault rifles and even some SMGs at a long distance. So let's go ahead and jump into the class setup. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and a favorite, and if you are new, if you enjoy content like this, I'm gonna have a ton more Call of Duty best class setup, so make sure to subscribe. And also, I do have a giveaway going on right now for GFUEL, so definitely check out the link in the description below and enter to win. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the class setup, and I'll talk about some of these struggles that I had with the weapon itself and my experience while I was leveling up the weapon. Alright, so one of the things you'll notice very quickly about the Ffar is that it does have a pretty fast rate of fire. Now, even though that is kind of nice and it's something that's pretty cool to have with an assault rifle, it also means that they have to balance this out by giving the weapon a little bit more recoil than you're used to. It is very similar, in my opinion, to the FAMAS from Black Ops 1 after it was nerfed a little bit, where it had a little bit more recoil and it wasn't as easy to use. Regardless of that though, it is a good weapon to get headshots with, especially if you start off mid-level chest and it works its way up. So it's a pretty cool weapon to use if you're going for headshots, and if you're trying to get faster kills, one of the recommendations I would give you is start at the chest. You'll work your way up naturally with the kick that it has from the recoil. Another thing about this weapon is that it does have very bad hip spread. This thing is not a weapon that you want to use. Make sure you aim down sight, because the hip fire is terrible. If you're going to be hip firing, I would only do it if the enemy is a few feet ahead of you or behind you or to your left or right, where you need to do that to try to spray them down. But if they're anywhere from 3 to 4 feet in front of you, I would just aim down sight, because the hip firing is terrible. We're going to try to make this a better weapon with some of the things that we actually have to deal with, like the recoil, along with, in my opinion, a very small size magazine of ammo. Even though it does have a really fast rate of fire, because it does have a very fast rate of fire, the Ffar is going to go through ammo very quickly, which is really weird, because even though it does fire so quickly, it does also feel like it's hardly putting any damage out. So it's kind of weird. You waste a lot of ammo, you're not really getting a ton of kills per magazine, which is kind of weird. Another thing about the Ffar is that it has a pretty peculiar iron sight. It's by no means one that you're going to have a really hard time dealing with. It's one that you can somehow manage if you really don't want to waste a point on a red dot sight or an elo sight. But personally, in my opinion, the elo sight, or any kind of sight really apart from the recon or the thermal, are really good sights to use on this guy, just because the iron sights are a little bit peculiar. Again, they're totally manageable, but if you really don't want to be dealing with that as you're playing with this weapon, I would highly recommend that you use a sight of any sort, really. I use the elo sight. To me, it's the cleanest looking one. So we talked about the iron sight. Let's go ahead now and elaborate a little bit more on that rate of fire. Because it does have that rate of fire, we mentioned that it is going to have a little bit of recoil. So obviously, right off the bat, what I'm going to recommend is going to be grip. If you're going to be using this weapon trying to compete with other assault rifles, or you're trying to do medium to long range engagements, I would highly recommend this guy. However, if you are going to be using it more of an SMG, you can opt out. Instead of having that, you can have fast mag, or you can have even get a little bit crazy and end up using something like rapid fire. Again, this is if you're going to be using it kind of like an SMG medium to short range. If you're someone who likes to play back, be a little bit more laid back, I would highly recommend grip, just because it makes the weapon so much easier to control. Going back to that, where it doesn't have enough ammo, the big thing here for me, again, whether you're playing up close or you're doing it at a distance, you want to have extended mags. It actually gives you a ton more ammo, and you are able to get into a lot more engagements, get a lot more kills quickly without running out of ammo. That's, again, one of the big things that happened to me, was I was constantly running out of ammo because it fires so quickly, and sometimes you tend to overshoot because of how fast it fires. As for the perks, these are completely up to you. 2. For the perk 1 slot, I just use Afterburner. For me, it's a good one if you're gonna be trying to play a little more stealthy. You can play with Sixth Sense or Flak Jacket, whatever you decide to do, whether you're being objective or being a Slayer. It's all completely up to you. Personally, I just use Afterburner because I like moving around the map and trying to keep my engagements as quick as possible. As for perk 2, I highly recommend Fast Hands, and also I do recommend Scavenger. You're going to be running out of ammo. Even with extended mags, this guy does have a very small amount of ammo. You're going to be constantly running out, so I would highly recommend Scavenger. And then Fast Hands, obviously, because you're using an assault rifle, you want to use this thing as quickly as possible. And this guy really does help you in gunfights and make sure that you're the first one shooting. And because it is an underpowered weapon, you really want to be the first one getting a shot in, or you're not going to get the kill. Obviously, to have both perks, you need perk 2 Greed. That's a given. And now for our final perk, I personally recommend Awareness. It just makes it easier for you to see who's around the map. You can sound whore people out. It makes the weapon a whole lot more usable. But if you want to do anything else like Gung Ho, or you want to use a Tactical Mask if you're being a little bit more objective based, or maybe even you just want to move around silently with Dead Silence. But personally, I would recommend Awareness. It made it so it was easier for me to kill people at a distance, and if I heard someone near me, I'd be able to kind of chill back and let the fire rate of the weapon itself get me out of any bad situations. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a favorite. It does get the content out there, and it is very much appreciated. I do have a Gamma GFUEL giveaway going on right now, as I said in the beginning, so make sure to enter that giveaway. 3 winners, they get 3 tubs of any flavor GFUEL along with a shaker cup, so make sure you guys enter. And finally, if you guys want to see more content like this, I'm going to have a ton more Call of Duty Black Ops 3 class setups and also COD 2016, so make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want to keep talking anything really, Twitter is the best place to do so. Go ahead and follow me over there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.